Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Pep Platypus here, and now it's time to talk about episode 6 of Hunter x Hunter. So, yeah, this episode is basically Toriko, and if you've never heard of Toriko, I'll get into that later, but essentially, we'll start with the summary slash review, just go right into it. We've got 4 main sections. The main characters regroup, the capturing of pigs, the cooking of pigs, and the capturing of eggs. So, to start off with everyone regrouping, that was nice. You know, Hisoka, he points over to Leorio. He's on the ground. He's got a big old fat cheek from getting punched by Hisoka, and he doesn't remember what happened. Killua runs over, and he says, "How'd you find us?" And Gon says, "Oh, I could just smell Leorio's cologne." And he's like, "What, really?" So it kind of shows that even though Kurapika is really strong and really skilled in everything, there are things Gon can do that he is actually surprised by and cannot do. So that's cool. We also briefly get to see, I believe it was this episode, it might have been the end of the last episode, but we don't see who Hisoka talked to on a communicator, but we see someone put something in their pocket, just like a low shot of their body. Like I mean, I can't remember if that was the end of episode 5 or if it was in this episode, but that part was cool. It just shows that Hisoka does definitely have ulterior motives, and he's not working alone. Let's see. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that section. They regroup, everything's good. Then we get introduced to the next set of examiners, which are Menchi and Buhara. And Buhara is just this real big dude with a really high-pitched voice, considering how big he is. It makes no sense, but anime does that all the time. And then you have Menchi, and she is, interesting. She definitely dresses with confidence, I'll say that, but I mean, that's how anime women are all the time. She's cool, I like their characters. Mainly this episode was a lot more comedic than the last few episodes, which isn't bad. I think it's a good change of pace from all the serious stuff that's been happening. But essentially they're gourmet hunters, and they hunt exotic animals for food and everything. So they're like, guys are gonna go capture these pigs. My new favorite creature that this series has introduced. I believe they're called great stamps, and they're fucking awesome. They have to go capture them, cook them, and serve them to Menchi and Buhara. And essentially, they go after the pigs. They have these epic snouts that are just like indestructible, but apparently their foreheads are really weak, because the snout like goes up and it kind of protects the forehead, but if you hit them right on the forehead, they're defenseless. So that's pretty much what they do. They bring back the pigs, they cook them. Buhara loves all of it. He's just a pig, but Menchi, has a much higher standard. She says, none of you are trying, none of you are cooking this, nobody cared. You weren't willing to try anything new, so you all fail, and it's like, what the fuck, right? So, what ends up happening is the other examiner who was watching this, dude with no mouth and the hair and shit, the dude who walked all weird, he's still watching all this from a tree, and he's like, okay, yeah, she's being stupid, I gotta call in the chairman or whatever. And then we get introduced to, I believe his name would be, I pronounced Netero, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. He's epic, you know he's epic, because this is anime, and if it's a shonen anime with an old dude, the old dude is always just disgustingly epic. So I can't wait to see what this guy can do in combat, because you know this guy is just going to be a fucking monster. Yeah, it's always like that with fucking anime. The old dude with a little bit of a perverted side, because we do see him check out what's-her-name's chest in this episode. Just for like a split second, it wasn't too overly. Like I said, this episode's very much more comedic than the previous episodes, which again is fine. Yeah, but basically he decides to say, okay, you're not fit, or she admits that she wasn't fit, she was being too hard on them, and they decide to do something else. So the new plan is boiled eggs, and they're gonna go after spider eagle eggs. I wanted to see a spider eagle in this episode. I was disappointed, because that sounds amazing, but we didn't get to see a spider eagle, but we saw their eggs. It's a very creative way of getting the eggs, where you jump down into the canyon, hang onto their web, wait for the updraft, jump down, grab an egg, and let the updraft carry you back up. And most of the people do it, not all of them. Some people were too scared, especially this one big dude with like this ponytail, and it's like shaved right here. There was a scene earlier where he was getting all hard and shit, like, oh, I'm not gonna take shit from some gourmet hunter, and he goes to attack Menchi, and then what's his name? Buhara's just like literally just palms him into like the side of like the gate. It was you knew these guys were fucking strong, and you knew this fucking dude wasn't gonna do shit to them, but she was ready to kill the dude. She's juggling knives and shit. I already knew these guys were gonna be stronger than they looked. I mean, this is anime 101. I mean, yeah, but overall, great episode. I really enjoyed it because I felt right at home. Because, like I said, I have seen Toriko, and if you've never seen Toriko, this episode is basically the premise of the entire series. Gourmet hunters hunting exotic food and different creatures and going to dangerous places. That and discovering new food and the joy of discovering it. That is pretty much the premise of Toriko. And if you haven't read that manga, read that manga because Toriko is amazing. You can check out the anime too, but the manga is just beyond better. So yeah, I think we're down to like, what was it, 42 applicants? And it was like 148 or something. So yeah, a ton of progress as far as everything goes. We got the entire second phase of the exam done in one episode, I believe. I think. I don't know if we're moving on to the third exam, but overall, very good. Now, just little key moments I want to point out. There was a scene where she failed everybody, and she explains why she failed him, and you see Hisoka pull out a card. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy gonna do, right? Like, he pulls out a card like he's ready to fucking, like, go ham on these examiners. He's very interesting as far as a character goes. And the only reason he didn't attack is because the blimp showed up with Netero in it, and he comes crashing down and shit like a badass. I mean, you know this guy is going to be a freak, and he's just... I can't wait. I want to see what this guy can do, at least a little bit. Probably have to wait a long time to see him go all out, though. Yeah, so I mean... Overall, I'm going to give this episode, like, 7.5. While I did really enjoy the episode, none of the comedy really hit home. It's fine that there's comedy, but none of it really hit home with me. None of it was really that funny for me personally. And while there was really good progression, there wasn't really much to the characters themselves. It was, you know, it was a perfectly fine episode. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it as much as the previous episodes, but it was still good. So that's my review for episode 6 of Hunter x Hunter. And we shall be moving on to episode 7, finally, because honestly, I actually watched 4, 5, and 6 a long time ago. When I was going to review them, I never got around to doing it. Some stuff happened, I got busy. I've watched 4, 5, and 6 before. Now I'm finally going to be getting into stuff that I have never seen before, so I'm really excited about that. And, yeah, so anyways, that's my review. I'll give it like a 7.5, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.